Hello everyone, my name is Gary Vaku and I'm your host and your voice with voice here to entertain you and may or may not have no idea what I'm doing. Well, oh, my water bottle's over there. I want to drink some water. Anyway, hello there. Uh, if I sounds a little bit much more deeper in my voice is because I just woke up. Like I say, like usually your wake up voice is your default voice. You just didn't know how to control it quite well. Hold on a little bit. I'll need to go drink some water. The stream itself might not be that long because a lot of people might not know this. Not really healthy at the moment, so I have to give this to the doctors. And seeing the doctors require what do you guys normally would call? Yes, appointment. I have an appointment like around right now. Start counting. Should be. I have to go at 11:30. Now it's like 9:30. Let me pull out calculators. Oops, press the wrong ass thing. Two hours. I only got 2 hours time. I don't even think I can do 2 hours because I have to go prep up slightly earlier time. So just do mind if you guys like manage to get a little bit late into the stream and miss me, but don't worry, I'll be having this thing in the record, so if you guys do want to watch it, you guys can watch it. Today's stream is a little bit on disability awareness. Let's write it down onto the stream topic. Okay. Today's stream topic will be a little bit on my yap on disability awareness day, but currently my engine is not started yet, so I'm either like look a little bit way too tired or sounds a little bit way too tired. I need some things to build me up first. Things to build me up. I need lots of energy. I guess like I spent a lot more energy just to recover it, but it's just not recovering at all. You know. Sleep too much can be tiring. Anyway, yeah, let's go to my new game stations, shall we? And yeah, like not fully done yet. The thing, to be honest, I still need to do some time, a little bit more time. It's still required to cook a little bit more to be able to properly, you know, do the stream much more properly. but it will still takes a lot of time. It's just that I don't know like how long would it take for me to like finish this thing. I change up like how my schedule again. Like if you guys want to know like, my schedule, just go to my Discord. You guys can find my schedule quite easily. And I'm going to hold on a little bit. Go to hold on a little bit. Studio mode, game. Game captured. Power wash simulator. Yay, ta-da! It is here, Power Wash Simulator. My eyes are a little bit watery, hold on. It's a game I like a lot. It's just that I didn't stream a lot about this game, because I usually just use it as an excuse for me to like stream and yap. Either way, I'm going to play the game. I think currently my current job at the moment is... Wait, is it this one? Didn't I already... Ah, yes. I was like halfway cleaning the playground and stuff. So let's resume the job of cleaning the playground. Oh yeah, I totally forgot. Like, does this game have their own music? I'm going to turn off the music if they have it. No, I can't see the music and stuff. Audio, yes, audio. There's only master volume, ambient sound, footstep, da da da. Yep, there's no music in this game. So, wait, did I see it? I think I just saw music. Oops. Yeah, they have music. Huh. Let's lower it up. Alright, good. Game volume's a little bit loud. Alright. I already forgot like how to play this game properly. Okay, I remember I can sort of like make this thing free flow. How to do it? Ah, yeah. See. I see. Currently I bought like a new stronger water pressure gun, so I can sort of like do them a little bit different. Yes. I can do like fanning motions, so I can clean them up faster. The floor is just going to be like take much more times. Would have a much more different. Yeah, I need to use strongest water to clean up the wood. Further you are, higher the pressure you need. If you're too lazy to move. And moving slow is one of the key for you to like do good cleaning too. Like, almost everything takes some time, so you have to try to do it slowly. Also, the sticky sound. Hold on a little bit, I need to do something first. Let me switch to this one. Just because done for the ladder. Ooh, not even close. Ooh, done. Just $3 for a freaking ladder. Do you know how much water I spent? Okay, that thing can be a little bit scary sometimes. Howdy, didn't find it. Put everything on hold. My golf buddy soiled you. Soiled like you would have to. Okay, Calvin Miller. Doc gave you detail to a colleague that who needs a hand with a new place to scrub for the other stuff. Why is the message like went off like so fast? Basically, I got another job while doing this job. Alright, this is just a 2-star job. I should do a little bit chat up more, to be honest. Let's say again, like today, this particular stream today is for hold on a little bit. Set timer 11:20.
I'll start your timer for 1 hour 24 minutes 31 seconds.
Okay. Now I set the timer for it. I know like when I need to like get ready for stuff. Either way, I'm going to do a little bit chatting. Now I got a little bit much more energy and awareness of my surroundings. Today's stream is a yapping stream, of course, that I would talk a lot while I'm doing stuff mindlessly. Sometimes I might stay silent a little bit, depends on my situations, but still, I'll try my best. And the game is a little bit loud in volume, so I need to change up how loud the audio, especially for the water volume. So just going to down notch like half. Good. Oh, I just stopped yapping again. The game is actually quite enjoyable. Either way, yeah. Today is going to be a little bit of like internet disability and awareness, like yapping stream. Is for me to talk a little bit about like how people like suffer. There's lots of people. It like either they themselves are not aware, or like they just like again gaslighting themselves that yeah, a lot of people like have like, you know, a lot of people also have issues too, and then but they're still doing fine, right? So you just always think like it's not really a big deal. And sometimes some other people would talk to you, they already believe those kind of philosophy themselves. And then there's people who like me, I always strongly believe that you just gaslighting yourself. I know I do gaslight myself too, just for me to like function properly most of the time, because again like there's lots of people can do way better than what I do, despite having my issues. But individual people always like have individual issues, you know. It's like mine is like a little bit on the unique side. I can't really compare other people like have the same thing, but I can like, I believe that, keep like strongly believe I can do better than way other people who have the same as thing. It's like again, different people, different circumstances, different adaptability, different environment, different like willpower, this and that, yada stuff. And it's a very subjective matter, especially when it comes to like internet disabilities, because really depends on how well your body know how to adjust from it. Some people just can't. Some people can, but with a huge cost. For me, I can. I have a very uncanny adaptability. When I say uncanny adaptability, I'm not trying to like brag or jokes about it. Even a doctor seems to notice that how adaptable I am when it comes to like disability adaptations, because I went to different like physiotherapy sessions, and they know that I can like do things without actually like do a lot of like self-adjustment related stuff without even like them like purposefully teach me how to adapt properly. Basically, I have a very good survival instinct. That's what they call. But the problem is adapting to your disability circumstances does not mean that you have the ability to how should I say, having the ability to adapt to your circumstances doesn't mean you are cured from your ill. So you are still struggling, and that is the fact that the person is actually still struggling, no matter what happened, how normal he look. Like when you kind of like, how to give a better analogy for this is like you see a person who missing a leg. Do they are they looking unhealthy? No. Do you see a person who miss a hand? Do you see them looking unhealthy? No, but can you see them struggling when they do a specific task? Yes. That is actually happening to a lot of like people who have internal disability too. They always struggle, but nobody can seize it because it's something that happened inside, not like the outside. If you see a person who with one hand have trouble doing like tasks that require two hands, despite even like they are being like very pro like very adaptable. They already learn how to use to do like a lot of things require two hand with one hand. They found a way to do it. Doesn't mean the process of doing that thing had didn't cost them any like stress, didn't cost them any effort. Basically, they managed to finish the task. Doesn't mean they didn't spend way more effort than most people to do one task. And of course, a lot of people are not ignorant, and those people who are ignorant, they will clearly know that this is not something the person with one arm can do. And if you see a person with one arm able to do what you think the person that one arm cannot like finish, you will either you will also impressed and also like related to that person. You know that they are struggling because you have two arms. You don't really know nor imagines how are you personally going to finish a task if you have one arm. But internal disability is something that is very, very different. When it comes to internal disabilities, is again same analogy I said before. If you see a one-armed person can be very healthy. They can eat healthy food, have a healthy exercise. They literally can look like the most normal person in the world, but physically you can see they only have one arm. That kind of like become like a very glaring point that you know this person is disabled. But the big problem when it comes to like internal disabilities is like you can't physically see the person ill. Like the person, like if they have like internal disability like deaf, blind, or even like other like mental illness, or they have like some sort of like organ failure that make them kind of like not organ failure, I mean like sensory failure. For me is I have sensory failure on my ears, which when it comes to ears is means like my ears always have difficulty focus because it's always like ringing, and I always have like vertigo. I can't actually focus that well, despite I learned the ability to tune out my shit. Because if you guys didn't know what vertigo is, it's like getting punched or slapped, or you try to spin on the spot for a little bit way too long and then try to like walk straight. Or if you feel drunk, you kind of like it's quite similar with vertigo. Technically, drunk is something that affect your bloodstream rather than affecting your ear organ, but a lot of things can affect by the ear organ, and not a lot of people would relate to that because again, people relate to what they can experience. Vertigo is not something that normal people can have. Like people can experience dizziness either from they have like malnutritious, or they have blood issues, or you know, the other kind of things like malnutritious, blood issues, or heart issues. Those kind of things like makes you dizzy sometimes, and those kind of dizziness doesn't really affect a person's ability to perform tasks that hard. Of course it does, but if you power through it, it's some things that is much more easier to power through than most other like condition when it comes to vertigo dizziness. Because vertigo dizziness is something that literally come from imbalance issues. Your brain does unable to compute the balance that you are having right now, and then it went a little bit haywire and unable to kind of like adjust from it, which is why you will have a little bit dizzy, because your up down left right has become your up down left right basically become like a little bit too difficult to manage. and that itself is called vertigo. Still, again, like, it's funny that not lots of people, even now, they still have the ability to understand what the heck is vertigo in the first place. Because no matter how I explain it, that if you never experience it, it's something that really difficult for me to tell you. Because vertigo is something that happened consistently a very long period amount of time. Even people manage to like experience vertigo, they only experience it in a very short, fleeting moment. It's like, I tell you, you can spin on one spot for a long time and then stop. You'll feel it, but because you have a healthy like ear organ, you can just like adjust from it almost within a minute. You already like recover more than half of it. People who with like vertigo issues, they will always like have the vertigo for a very, very long period amount of time. This is why when it comes to like lots of like disability stuff, like I can just skip about like my issues, just focus on the task of internal disabilities. So being able to adapt to your situation doesn't mean that you are on the person itself like on the like green zone. They still are struggling. They are using more effort to do one thing than most people does, and it doesn't really show that much because the more like great they are adapting to their like situations, the harder for other people to spot like they actually are struggling because they don't show themselves struggling. It's like, ironically, not having skill issue makes people not sympathize with you. The more good you are at adapting to your own situations, the less people are going to just be understanding on your situations, which is the most hilarious thing in the world. You kind of like can get the irony of it. It's like worst thing is like if you complain about it, people will just give you like it's your skill issues. That is the worst kind of response that you can kind of like let other people know. So if you know like a person or like your friend have like disability, when they say they're tired on something or like this and that, yeah, their stuff, they can't do something that well, don't joke about it too much. Sometimes we do able to take a joke, one or two. It's just that do not touch a sensitive spot about skill issues. Like if you know your friends have like some internal disability and they look like they don't have one, does not mean they're not struggling. It's just that they are too good at adapting to the point that it looks like they don't have issues. But in reality, every people who with like internal disability have a shit tons of issues. It's just because they have like really good skill on adapting to their situations does not mean they're not struggling. It's tired to like adapt in such a way that they look like a normal person. If they look normal despite having like a lot of like disability, like one or two type of disability, or like mentally have some issues, or like this and that, they are doing very, very good. Because like any normal person who have that situations, if they can't adapt, they will just like sit there doing nothing. And again, the worst spins around and do not wait for other people. So we cannot, like, people who have internet disability, they understand the situations that they cannot just sit around and bitch about it. They know they have to work, they know they have to do this, they know they have to do that, they know they cannot have a leisure life, sadly, because this world, we cannot afford to be a disabled person. We cannot afford to be sick. We cannot afford to be various kind of things. Ran out of juice again. Let me recharge a little bit by playing the game. You know, anyone who like really enjoy like Power Wash Simulator, maybe you guys can consider to take in like 3D courses, like making textures, like especially like making textures. Like this is like a lot more similar to how to like paint textures and stuff. You are just trying to be careful on the detail, this and that, yada yada stuff. Do quite a lot of things like quite similar to texturing. Especially when you try to design like texture, bump map, this and that, yada yada stuff. Texture actually is not bump map anymore. Like if you want a much more easier time when it comes to gaming stuff, that will be a normal map. If you guys don't know what normal map is, it's like a very convoluted like, rainbow acid trip image that you have to like apply it into your textures. So when they reflect the light, it looks like they are. It's like optic illusions. So it would make them look like they are like they reflected like 3D-ish. I cleaned quite a lot of places already. This one is much more especially difficult because like it is black color in nature, so it's become like much more difficult to kind of clean them up properly because you can't even see them properly in the first place. Not too much a yap today, because there are no people to hear for me to yap. Sadly. Well, it's my starting new schedule, so it doesn't really have a lot of people. It's kind of like normal. Do I have the money to upgrade stuff? I'm just trying to at least get one more thing, and then I'll be done with this. Maybe I'll just like try to finish this ladder thingy. Yeah, this monkey bar. Yes. Monkey bar finished. I'm a little bit tired. Of course, I'm going to end the stream. Yeah, it's a very short stream. I hope like more people will like drop into my stream more and more later on in the futures. But I'm going to do way more stuff like my productive night stream, and then my other content stuff. I am doing like a big plan, big stuff, like lots of like things I need to do, and after that I need to like record like lots of stuff, and then try to like post it out, this and that, yeah, different stuff, you know. Anyway, not a lot of people dropping into chat. Hi there, Story. Quite late for you. You know what? Since you're here, let me try to stream a little bit longer. My energy come from like chatting. That is the funniest shit in the world. So how's your day? I'm not going to stream that long because it's very close to the time that I need to be ready for go to the clinic to have my eye checked. If you didn't know about it, I currently, one of my eye is like half blind. There's like a big black dot like appear like right on the right side of my eye. Hope it's curable. If it's not curable, means like I think I will finally become a legit like disabled persons. Not really sure because like as you already know, like I already have like some other like disabled thing that going on. How I able to adapt with my other issues is actually just using my eyes and my physical contact on the ground because my balance is screwed. So now one of my eyes is busted. I think I'm basically power through my disability with like a very good like adaptations. This is something that always like not a lot of people know about. When it comes to disability, there are a lot. Disabled doesn't mean you don't look healthy. Like you can look completely fine and then you're disabled at the same time. Because like if you look at this person who like have lost an arm or a leg, do you see them like unhealthy in the first place? No, some people might even more healthy than you. So the problem is when it comes to disability is the person's struggle on doing normal tasks. And when it comes to this, it's like it's a lot more like in the thing, like it's a lot more like unable to like understand that well, is especially for people who have like internal disability. Like even a person who missing an arm, you might misunderstood like the term of disability, because like you don't see the person struggle. You can see like a person missing an arm trying to do a task that require 2 arms, and then you can see them struggling. Maybe some people are very skillful and they're able to finish anything that require like 2 hands with just one of the hand. Definitely is being like very skillful and stuff, but in that sense does not mean they are okay. Like the more skillful a person who is disabled, ironically, the less people are going to sympathize with them. It's not like they require people to sympathize with them. I mean, like, the more capable you are to handle your like disability, the more normal you look. The more normal you look, actually, the less support you have. It's a very counterintuitive thing, to be honest. It's like disabled persons use almost twice or maybe 3 times or 4 times amount of like energy to spend to do one thing, and we get tired very easily. But if we power through our conditions and manage our condition very well, we can perform like general normal people. But doesn't mean that we did not use more energy. We did not stress our other like organ more. Imagine like you doing tasks that require 2 hands with 1 hand. Despite you doing very well, it does go hard on your other hand. That 1 hand you manage to do like a lot of things with just 1 hand doesn't mean that that arm aren't tired. It is. Sadly, I have to keep using like a person with 1 arm to do this explanation. It's much more easier for people to understand, rather than I say like, oh shit, I'm dizzy, so I can't function properly. That sounds like an excuse, but reality is not. But sadly, not a lot of people again can understand that point properly. So using a 1 arm analogy is still the best, because people can relate to doing tasks with 1 arm rather than doing tasks while you having vertigo. Because not a lot of people can experience vertigo, but you can experience like try to do shit with just 1 hand. So being able to adapt to your situations doesn't mean that you're cured. If you see a person who is disabled and they're doing very well, doesn't mean they are not trying really hard. The more well the person is doing, technically in reality, the more like the more struggle they are in, because they are literally powering through by either sheer force of will or Yeah, it's either a sheer force of will or just being stubborn, or they are just that good. But being good at managing your situations doesn't mean that you are on the green. It doesn't mean that you are fine. You're not fine. And a lot of people with that kind of ability to adapt really well and being able to live properly despite their disadvantage. Yes, you can be proud of it, but don't gaslight a shit of yourself or other people. That you can do it doesn't mean other people can do it. You know, it's definitely a skill issues in some sense, but also same time it's not. And for people who are disabled, it's best to let them know that yes, you can be lazy. Yes, you can take a break. You don't have to adapt yourself to the point that you have to compensate to look like a normal person. Because the more manageable you are, the more capable you are, the less people didn't pay attention to you. It's not like telling people just to do work badly just to get attentions. It's not asking people to get attention. It's letting people know that you are struggling. You are not well. We can be proud while we know how to manage our things, but also same time, if we want to take a break, since we using way more energy than most people does, if we want to take a break, we won't have to suffer. The moment we take a break, they would give us that eye that, ooh, that person's lazy. Or ooh, that person is not handling well. We are handling very well. It's just that we want to take a break. Why the prejudice come from that? It happens so many times that it's actually quite tiring. The irony of doing manage your condition well is not getting acknowledged that you have issues. Maybe some people goal is like that, but I can tell you a lot of people their goal to be able to manage well is just they don't want to look useless. Because being disabled sucks. It feels like you are useless. Quite almost most of the time. And of course we don't want to be look like lesser people, but doesn't mean that the way we do it is actually mental health is actually a disability. Depends on the severity of the mental health issues and also the type of mental health issues. If ADHD technically is a disability. Not a lot of people know that. But ADHD, if you want it to become a disability, you really have to get diagnosed from a doctor's. You cannot do a web search and then find a quiz, do some answering, and then you say, oh, this quiz say I have ADHD, then I am disabled. No, it doesn't work that way. There's a lot of circumstances and situational when it comes to mentality. It's even harder to be recognized as disabled. I know it's a little bit sad about that, but because mentality is even more iffy than internal disability. Imagine my condition is I have vertigo due to my ear having issues. But people with the same issue with me, they might have a different effect. Some people with the same identical issues, they might get a bit higher hearing ringing in their ears, or some people have a much more effect on their facial twitch, so they have difficulty doing facial expression and stuff. Or some other people would have me having very severe vertigo. Some people have everything, and then some people are losing hearing only. Yes, this my condition can actually lose hearing if I didn't manage it that well. But again, Like this kind of things is like very, in a way, what you call a subjective matter. It's like a person who can get pricked by a cactus. They literally, like, it will tell you that that is the worst pain they will experience in their world. Like they are very sensitive to pain. And then there are people who get stabbed that be like, oh, there's a knife on my shoulders. Like those kind of people do exist. And like I say again, it's a very subjective matter, especially when it comes to like mental issues. So there are people who with mental issue again are very adaptable to their situations. Imagine like you have autism and people can't notice your autism because again, autism sometimes is just that you are a little bit way too focused on like some specific aspect of some things, and then you're being very good at it, and socially awkward on quite a lot of different things, or not flat out not good at anything. What happened? Like I give you a scenario. What happened if your mental issue, your autism issues, is you are very good at pretending to be human? Now I'll give you a thought, right? Like this is like a very like complicated issues in some sense, because it's some things that you can't really able to like answer people quite well and correctly. I personally don't really have a mental issue, so it's really difficult for me to answer you stuff. Maybe I have ADHD, I never know about it. Maybe there are people who don't have it and like do a very still like doing a very bad job at it, or anything like that. It's a it's a very difficult subject when it comes to talking about mental issues. But mental issue is an internal disability, and again, more well you manage your mental issue is kind of a backfire shit. Again, it's a very stupid thing. Like imagine like you have depressions. Depression is a disability, to be honest. Like you cannot like you have to be like extra careful, especially you have friends that have that have depressions. It's like they look fine because they manage that situation well, but when things like start hitting hard, it hit hard, and you might not aware of it because they are managing so well for quite a long time, and you just like that one day you just didn't aware enough, because he's always like he looks normal now. He doesn't look like weird, he doesn't have any issues or this and that, yeah, that stuff, and then poof, the next day unexpected stuff happens. That happened to a lot of people who have like depression so many times. People would just like you can see like in like if like famous people who have like depression issues, and then like they just like suddenly gone, and then they'll be like interview like with their friends and family. They'd be like, they were looking fine like yesterday's, because like they just simply forgot the fact that he have like depressions. He or she have depressions. It's just something very, very difficult to spot, or very difficult to like understand in some sense, because the better you are at managing situations, in some sense, is also counterintuitive, like to work against you, because people would treat you like a normal person anymore. Sometimes people who have like internal disability stop gaslighting yourself and being too good at what you're doing. Yes, again, like also other people have to be very aware of that we don't want people to view us as useless people, but we will try our best to complete anything that we can do as much as possible. But doesn't mean we don't entitled to take a break, because we are using way more like energy and effort just to do one particular thing. So if you want to take a break, don't shame people who have disability that you're doing fine, or like, well, why are you taking a break now, or like shame people like on like, oh, you are being lazy right now, this and that, yeah, that stuff. Like Never do that shit. That is the rudest shit to the people. Happens to a person who is either disabled or like situational disabled. Is very hurtful to hear sometimes too. It's like you should know, like if especially when you know that person who have issues and then they try to take a break and then you laugh at them like, you're taking a break now. Sometimes can be a little bit stinging because try to stay strong is not something that you can do 24/7. There will be a time you need sometimes to wind up. There will be a time that you need to take a break. Even normal people need to take a break. Imagine a person who does stuff that normal people can easily do. Like again, like the one arm analogy. Like imagine like you're doing, that person is doing like a lot, like even like the job that people with 2 arms are getting tired. And then that person can do quite a lot of work with just 1 arm. And then when he want to take a break, people would, of course, they will take a break either more or longer than most people because they are doing all the things that a person who with 2 arms can do with 1 arm. Like again, like it's a very complex issues that the things that persons need to be aware of this and that, that stuff. Especially people who are very great at I'm not saying like very great at pretending, is more like very great at managing their own situations. Don't gaslight the shit out of yourself of like not taking a break, because like here's the thing, because my vertigo issues, I have something like a stick grip. My eyes will keep slowly looking to the left, and I have to force myself to be in centers always. So it's like a manual control, like force my eyes to look at a certain directions. So it stress out my eyes a lot, which I know, but I have to work. I have to use my eyes to see, I have to use my eyes to draw, I have to use my eyes for lots of things. But there will become some times that I like how should I say it? Hold on. There becomes a times that my eyes do need to take a break more than most people, because if I don't take a break, it stresses out my eyes nerve a lot, because I just refuse to take a break, because I just keep doing shit. And that kind of things can affect a person a lot. For me, now my right eye is busted because of it. It's not because like I force myself to this way. It's sometimes I would say like it's more situational that make me like this, because I'm stuck in what the doctor would call a very shitty situations. That is, I'm just not what they call it. I'm not bad enough to be disabled, but also I'm not well enough to be able. So I can't even to be registered as a disabled person. Even I do, due to how the circumstances look like, my disability would pale in comparison to people who doesn't have an arm or leg, which make my disabled issues usually not valid in many situations. So it might hinder my ability to work, it might hinder my ability to do a lot of stuff, but can't help, because the world doesn't care. Even the medical field, in a sense, doesn't care. Despite the doctors know my issues, they can't do any jack shit to it, because on paper, it's not that bad. But in reality, on the individual person's shit, it's actually pretty bad for me. Because I have to work almost as triple or twice as hard to do something most people have to do. But I cannot be my condition cannot be recognized as a disability. But I still have to work, because I need to earn money. I need to live. Which comes to this point that now one of my eye is busted, because I've been forcing myself to work for so long, and just try to earn that tiny amount of money, and now one of my eyes is broken. That makes me think a lot about like my current situations, and want to let other people know that if you want to take a break, it's okay to take a break. Especially when people who have like conditions, I need to let many other people who don't suffer this kind of issues knows that despite people who have like issues, they present themselves as like capable and fine. Just in a sense, you still have to be aware that person are still at the end struggling, working something that supposed to need two hands with one hand. Because people can't really see disability that well, especially even like internal struggle disability. People with like literally just half of the disability like happen in the inside. People are just not that aware of it. It's not like I'm saying like people are stupid or anything. It's just that it's really hard to aware to this kind of things. Like you never being able to see it. Why people can relate to people who missing an arm and leg way more on those disability than most people who have like blindness or deaf or like mute is because if you have both arms, you work on some tasks that require both arms with just one hand, you realize that how difficult it is. So you can relate how difficult a person with one arm is to live. And if you never experiencing something like vertigo or like mental illness or like any other things, you would not have the ability to empathize with the person who currently struggling with that kind of issues. In a way, it's the very like difficult things to really how should I say it's just some things that are very difficult to explain in a way that people can understand easily. I wish like I can do a better job at like explaining this kind of things, but my main goal right now is to want people to aware like this type of thing exists, and then they have to acknowledge it, and then they have to like know that, you know, if you have friends that have disability, just let them know that they should take a break. Stop gaslighting themselves that they are fine, because we are living in a society that people every single time that if you either like complain about your struggle, especially people with internet disability, like I'm dizzy, I cannot work that well, and then there will be like a guy, hey, I'm dizzy too, you see I'm working fine. Like, one, slap him. Second, let him know that no, you're not fine. Too bad like we live in a societies that we have to keep working. Like even normal people have to keep working until their body like falls apart. They cannot afford to get sick. They cannot afford to take a break. They cannot afford to do this or that. Like lots of things. Like basically, we are living in a world that we have to work till our entire body just fall apart. And currently, my body also did fall apart too, which is like the annoying part of my ordeal, because I noticed my body is slowly degrading. I'm only 29 years old. I'm closing to my 30s, and I already noticed that my entire body is slowly degrading in a very fast pace. And not just in normal fast pace, it's almost like as if like I'm, you know, like those kind of like TV show or like a cartoon that you notice like that person is a clone, and then that clone is like an unstable clone. It's like it's degrading like really fast in a very fast rate, and that's me, and that's what I'm feeling right now, and that feeling is hella scary, not to lie. Well, that'll be all for my yapping session, I guess. Like, it's close to 11:30 in my time. I have to go to see a doctor's because, like, again, like, because my eye busted, I need to go to clinic, get like a letter of recommendation to go to public hospital for specialist, and then once I get specialist, finally I can get checked. Might be have to wait like for a month or two to get checked. And then once I finish getting checkup, and I will know that my eyes can be fixed or not. If it's unable to be fixed, means I'm actually finally got my wish come true. Because I keep telling people that I'm stuck in situations where I kind of is and not a disabled person at the same time. So in a sense, it's basically for some ironically reasons, my eye busted is like the final calling for my issues to be like officially called a disability. Sadly, I have to like undergo in such a sad situations to be able to call it disabled, but it does feel sucks. It does feel sucks. But don't worry, I'm not those kind of people who like have like severe mental health issues. In fact, like the doctor did tell me that I'm the most positive persons they ever seen. Even back then, like I was misdiagnosed with like what they call it, depressions and like various different kind of like other mental issues. Because back then when I like go and check for my like ear stuff, they keep gaslighting the shit out of me that I have mental issues. But later on, they realized that after the MRI stuff, they realized that, oh, it's not mental issues. You really have issues, physical issues. Yeah, it took them a while to actually like found out that I actually have like problem. But yeah, it's also because of that, like I went to like have lots of like psychology check and stuff, and the doctors be like, you know, if you really have like depression, you are the most positive depressive people I ever seen. That's what the doctor told me. Because I'm very self-aware and I know how to do like self-help a lot, and I'm those kind of person who literally will lose an arm and be like, oh, I lost an arm, shit, I can't play game that well anymore. I'm literally are those kind of persons. Like, if I think like in some time and way, you guys might be able to like meet those kind of person too. It's like we are those kind of person who will literally miss an arm and be like, oh shit, I lost an arm. It's not like some people like will like lost an arm, they would go into like existential crisis. They will become disabled, this and that, yeah, that stuff. I already in a sense that I know I'm fucked. I accept my fate, but I ain't going down like a bitch. those kind of like mentality. Oh man, I can't 100% this thing because this place is big. I really want to finish this thing, but time is getting close. I only got like a few minutes left to like start preparing to go to the hospital. So not hospital, clinic. So either way, yeah, and I got 6 view. I already set up like various different kind of like time schedule for me. So see you guys next day on like around like 8 a.m. again But I set my time at 8 a.m. doesn't mean that I will be like on point on 8 a.m. Like due to a lots of my shit going on, I kind of have difficulty sleeping. Yeah, sadly, that is the thing. And oh, climbing pole. I know. Now. Oh, it's not 100% clean. Gosh dang. But either way, yeah, I will try my best to seek out like to see like is there like any issues that what I have, and also like I have to get like one of my arms like fixed too. I have like something called like a ganglion. It's like some on my wrist, like something like pop up that makes my wrist like a little bit hard to move, like those kind of things too. I have a lot of issue with my body. Either way, thank you very much for watching, and as always, stay healthy, stay safe. Until next time, stay tuned on the next stream. Bye bye.